Hey there everyone, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of My Orchid Adventures with me, Maria Young. So in today's episode, what we're going to be doing is 2 experiments on 2 Phalaenopsis orchids. Now, if you guys remember correctly, I just recently did a psychopsis video where we indeed were trying to encourage and promote more spikes. And if you guys have not watched that psychopsis video where we did that experiment, go ahead and click right here and you can view it. Now, I definitely recommend that you watch it for the simple fact that it's going to give you a more in-depth detail of what we're doing today. I just recently received a question from a friend and a viewer by the name of Catherine Georgiou, and the question that she posed was this experiment also good for Phalaenopsis orchids? And Catherine, I have to tell you, I do believe that it is possible also for the Phalaenopsis orchids to create more spikes, in the fact that they do have key indicators. Number 1 is the fact that they do create secondary spikes, and number 2, they do have nodes, and number 3, they also have joints on their spikes as well. So indeed, this is something that we can try on the Phalaenopsis orchids also. But one thing I do have to say, please understand that this is still in its experimental stages. So I do not have any proof or evidence as of yet that this method can work, okay? And what I would actually like to recommend is that you guys go ahead and hold off from doing this experiment until we have more of evidence that it does work. Let me go ahead and take one for the team, okay? So there are many of you guys that may wonder, why is it that I do so many experiments? Well, I have to tell you folks, I am a person that is very curious and always wants to learn, discover, and explore. And if I feel like something is possible, I definitely have to find out for myself. And that is why I do many of these experiments. And you guys have to also understand, if there wasn't people that were so curious enough to do these experiments, then how would we ever find out? And you guys already know what my motto is: the more that we know, the more that we can grow. And I literally believe that. So that's definitely what I'm trying to do, is learn for myself and then share it with you, because you can find that through our experiments we may find a better way of growing our orchids. We may even find a better way of blooming our orchids, and even a better way to make it that much more enjoyable to grow our orchids. So indeed, we need people to do these experiments to find out and then share it with others. Well, alrighty then folks, with that being said, let's go ahead and get the Phalaenopsis experiment party started, and let's do it right now. Bam, 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 and boom. But before we begin, I definitely want to give you guys an update on the extreme propagation project that we're doing on the Catasetum orchid. Now, as you guys know, I did wait 2 days just to ensure that each cutting was dried and sealed before we put it into this container. And here they are now. And indeed, they are being kept moist so that they won't become dehydrated, and it is being kept warm because it is sealed. And as you can even see on the lid, you see all that moisture residue right there. So indeed, it is in great conditions to promote new growth on the Catasetum orchid. So at this point, it is just simply finger crossing and just waiting it out. Now, if you guys want to see that video so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here, please be sure to click right here and it'll take you to that video now. Oh, and just in case you guys wanted to check up on the Psychopsis orchid that we're also doing the spike experiment with, here it is now, and as you guys can see, it looks normal. We are not seeing any type of yellowing at all, so indeed, good news so far. And right here, folks, these are the 2 orchids that we will be conducting our experiments on today. Both of these orchids are species orchids, also known as the Schilleriana. And as you can see, this one is currently developing its spike, and this one has already developed a spike with the buds and have just recently come into bloom 2 days ago to be exact. So I just wanted to take a moment and explain to you how much weight and gravity this experiment actually holds. Because if this experiment is successful, this can actually change the face of how we are blooming our Phalaenopsis orchids. Now, we all know the way that we create a secondary spike, we are actually going to have to make a complete cut. We are going to be cutting off the top portion of the spike, and where we're going to make that cut is between the last blossom and also the first node. So we're going to do it right above, somewhere right here. Now, in order for us to do that, of course, we're going to have to wait until these beautiful blooms are spent, because we want that time to appreciate these blooms, right? So there's going to be a gap in the wait time with that. But not only that, after this is done and we make that cut, we are still going to have to wait for this to create a spike, for the spike to create the buds, for the buds to get big enough to bloom. So you get what I'm saying? There's still going to be quite a wait time to be capable of enjoying those blooms. But if this experiment works, that means we can do the method at any given time, and we can do it on all of the nodes, therefore setting off multiple spikes and all blooming somewhat the same time. Can you imagine how beautiful that would be if we had control of it with every Phalaenopsis orchid that we have? So indeed, that is a way to change the whole process of how we're blooming and enjoying our orchids, and it indeed gives us the choice to do it if we want to. Okay folks, and here we are all set to go with this experiment. Now before we begin, I do want to let you guys know that the spike of the Phalaenopsis is actually a little bit more fragile than the Psychopsis spike. It's a little bit more tender and it has a little bit more give to it. So you're not going to have to do it as tight, and you're going to have to be just a little bit more cautious. So here we go. We're going to take the twisty tie right here. We're going to find the location, which is about an inch above the node. And we're going to go ahead and put the twisty tie around, of course holding it in place, and then we're just going to begin to twist. And again, just be cautious here folks. This one's a little bit more tender. Oh yeah, so tender. I'm not even putting pressure, it's just the actual act of holding the actual twisty tie is putting an indentation on it. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna do here. I mean, yeah, it's tight enough. I'm not gonna push my luck here. So that's the first one. Here, we'll do it again one more time. Okay, again, just a little bit more cautious here. Okay, there we go. Begin the twisting process. Twist, twist, twist. Twist and shout. Okay, there. That's good enough for me. And there you have it. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the last one. Right above that node, about an inch right here. Hold it in place and begin the twisting process. Okay, there you go. Pretty easy. Yep, and that's all we're going to do there. Maybe one more twist. It's a little bit more hardy as you get to the bottom. There you go. Okay, and here we are with this spike right here, and of course this is a younger spike, so this is far more tender than the other one, so we are really going to have to be cautious on this one. And I'm not going to do the first one because this is just too tender up here and it's too close to where the buds are going to form. I would much rather do it on this one right here. So this is the one we're going to do, also this one, and perhaps this one right here. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to put it about an inch above, and again, even the twisting and turning causes an indentation, so just try to hold it in place as much as you can with these fingers right there. There you go. I think that's even better. Yep, that works better. There you go. I don't want to make it too tight. Uh-oh. Guess what? Guess what, guys? Yep, that's how fragile it is. It is that fragile. Well, there goes that idea, guys. I wonder if this is gonna produce. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on this one anyways, but yeah, learning lesson, guys. When it's so brand new, it is very, very fragile. even when you try to be careful. So here we go, we're doing this one. And yeah, this one's better. It's just going to that very tip. They're very, very fragile. And then we're going to do this one right here. And as we get near to the base again of the spike, it's a little bit stronger. So this will be easier, and we're just twisting away. And we'll see what happens with this one. It's very unfortunate that that did break, but you know what? Learning lesson is, you guys got to see how fragile it is, so indeed be cautious with these spikes right here. So there you go. I think this is fine. And we are completely done with both of these. So we're gonna have to wait. Again, folks, you know the drill. Fingers crossed, and stay tuned for more. And there you have it, folks. That is a complete Phalaenopsis experiment wrap. Now, you guys have got to let me know, do you guys think that this is going to work for the Phalaenopsis? And you also have to let me know if you have ever done something like this and you have a method that is guaranteed success for promoting more spikes. Please be sure to share it with us and post those comments below. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And also, folks, if you guys want to contact me via snail mail or even send me something, you can do it by the address below. I am also on Facebook at My Orchid Adventure, so join me there as well. And I am on eBay, so if you are looking for some phenomenal orchids, please be sure to check me out. Now, as you guys already know, I do truly love and appreciate you guys all. With that being said, mwah!